Hello. I don't know how can I know if there are people in the session or not. Hello. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, that's good. Thank you. So thank you for joining also my session, which is about lessons learned for implementing Peoplesoft Fluid User Interface and ePerformance Concurrently. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Maki Furutani. I'm a Human Resources Business Systems Supervisor at the Human Resources Department in the at the City of Raleigh, North Carolina. As many of you might already know, the City of Raleigh is a state capital of North Carolina. So I'm rather new to the City of Raleigh because I joined the City of Raleigh in March last year. However, I've been working with the PeopleSoft HCM for almost 21 years since I joined the PeopleSoft, the company PeopleSoft, in 1999. So today's agenda, this is a short 30-minute session. So I'm not going to go too deep about what I'm going to talk about, but there are several bullet points I like to talk about. First of all, I like to talk about the City of Raleigh overview, how many people we have in the city, and what kind of systems we have with the PeopleSoft and other Oracle products. Then I'm going to explain about project overview and timeline for both project, ePerformance and Fluid User Interface. Then I'm going to explain about all the lessons we learned from implementing ePerformance and Fluid User Interface concurrently. So first of all, the City of Raleigh, we are, as I said, we are state capital of North Carolina, but we are not so big citywide. So because we are the second largest city in North Carolina, because largest is City of Charlotte, but we are serving about almost 500,000 citizens in the city, and we have about 20 departments inside the city. And employee population wise, we have about 4,000 employees who are full-time, and also we have about 3,000 employees who are part-time. And as to PeopleSoft products, we have not just the PeopleSoft HCM, but we also FSCM. And for the release-wise, the HCM, we are kind of a bit late of the image because we are using PAM HCM 92 PAM image 20. And FSCM side, we have a bit newer PAM image. We are on PAM image 29. And also for the people tools, we are on 856 at the moment, but we are upgrading the people tools to 858 at this moment, so that we are going to be on the people tools 858 within a month or so. And with those PeopleSoft systems and the tools, we have so many interfaces with both city internal systems and the external systems. So the more about City of Raleigh, this is the organization chart of the City of Raleigh. And we have, about, like I said, we have about 20 departments, and we have a mayor and also the city council. They are the ones who decide our budget and all kind of the things we are going to do in the city. And we also have a city manager in addition to mayor. And we have city attorney's office and city clerk office. And under city manager's office, there are 3 assistant city managers who oversee the individual departments, such as police and fire, and planning and development, and the parks and recreation, and the city convention center. And also there are 4 departments which are not under any of those assistant city managers, but they directly report to the city manager's office. That they are like budget office and the finance and human resources and information technology. So as to PeopleSoft products, as I said, we have both PeopleSoft HCM and PeopleSoft FSCM. And also we have several other Oracle products we use in the city. So I didn't put them all the modules we use. I kind of highlighted what the major modules we use. For example, for the HCM side, we have core HR and the including position management, and we have benefits. We have both base benefits, and we also use benefits administration. And compensation, we have the basic compensation, and also we use e-compensation and e-compensation manager desktop. Then ePerformance, and we have payroll and the time and labor and absence management, and or the employee self-service and manager self-service applications. For the finance and the SCM side, we have many of the module tools, such as general ledger and accounts payable, expenses, inventory, asset management. And one of the newer things we have implemented in the last couple of years was a supplier contract. And also the FSCM side, we have lots of employee self-service and manager self-service applications. And some of the other products we interface with the PeopleSoft HCM or FSCM, and 2 of them are also Oracle products, such as a budget management system, which is Hyperion. And also we have a learning system. We call it iLearn, but it's actually Taleo Learn, another Oracle product. So as I said, we have 4,000 full-time employees and about 3,000 part-time employees. So how do we support them? So we have 5 the functional resources and also 5 technical resources. They are all in-house. They are all City of Raleigh employees. So in human resources department, HR lead, this is me. Under me, there's another HR analyst. And in finance department, there's a payroll lead because payroll division is inside of a finance department. And also there is a finance lead and a finance analyst who support and manage all the finance and the SCM side of the product. Excuse me. And also we have inside of information technology department, we have 5 technical resources. 2 of them are technical leads, and one is a PeopleSoft security lead. And in addition to those 3 leads, technical leads and the security lead, we have 2 technical analysts. And each of the technical lead usually manage one of the products line, which means one of the technical leads usually work on the HCM side of the PeopleSoft product, and the other one, the person usually works for the finance and HCM side of the PeopleSoft product. But all of them can work for any of the PeopleSoft products because we are all the city employees, as I said. And in addition to those, and I'm only highlighting the people who support and maintain the PeopleSoft products, but there are a few more people inside we call it Center of Excellence. So even though those leads and for the functional side and the technical side, we all belong to different departments. We have a matrix team called the Center of Excellence. And in Center of Excellence, there are several different people who manage, support and maintain not just PeopleSoft, but other products such as there's one technical resource who manage, supports the island and recruiting the application. We use NeoGov, that's a cloud application. So this is excuse me, the structure of the PeopleSoft support team. So the next thing I wanted to mention was about the project overview and timeline for each of the project. So ePerformance, what we wanted to do was to transform the 3 performance tools. We call performance tool, but they are actually paper-based evaluation forms. And we have 3 different forms per employees job category and job families, such as general employees and the supervisor, technical employees, and executive employees. We have 3 different forms, and we need to transform them to the performance document templates in ePerformance. And also our performance management cycle starts in July and ends in June, same as fiscal year. And we usually have goal development between July and August. Then we have one checkpoint, which is a mid-year review, which usually occurs January to February. Then year-end evaluation, which occurs about the same time of the next fiscal year's goal development happening in July and August. Then we have the evaluation process and approval process, which involves employees and supervisors and reviewer. So supervisor is the one who submits employees' performance document. Then reviewer is who is a second level of a supervisor for employee perspective. Then reviewer needs to approve or denies. Then adds a comment. Then supervisor shares with employee, and steps goes on until supervisor completes a performance document for an employee. Then also, before we started ePerformance project, we already implemented eCompensation Manager Desktop to manage the annual merit increases. So we needed to integrate ePerformance with the eCompensation Manager desktop for merit increases. So this is the left-hand side. It shows a paper evaluation form. We call it the performance tool, and we need to transform those paper form. They are PDF forms, and they are fillable. So it's not like really we need to put everything on paper as a with a handwriting kind of thing, but it was fillable but still PDF. So we need to make it e-performance like on the right-hand side of the slide. Then timeline. So it was a bit tricky and interesting project because originally it was going to start in October 2018. The reason why it was starting in October 2018 was because by this time the implementation of the e-compensation manager desktop for annual merit increases, it was wrapping up here. So the project of ePerformance was going to start. Then it had the project started, launched, and we had several initial discussions and requirement gathering. Then it stopped around December timeframe. The reason why was because many of the resources who were working for the project have retired, getting hibernated. Then when I joined the city in late March last year, the project was revived. So we kind of restarted the planning phase in April. Then we restarted, and we started the design and the build phase, and we did the testing between November and January. Then we went live around late January. And after the system went live, we had the training sessions after that. Instead of having training session before the go live, we had the training session afterwards. The reason why was because the project was kind of being delayed. The original goal was to start using ePerformance for the fiscal year 2020, but it didn't happen. So we tried to do it before the mid-year review, which was going to happen around January, February timeframe. But there are several changes needed to be done. So that's why we decided to go live first. Then in the meantime, we were still doing training so that supervisors and employees could get more familiar with the system while they are doing a mid-year review. So the next one is an overview of a fluid user interface. So fluid user interface, the goal was to have our interaction hub, PeopleSoft Portal, to be replaced. Because we are using a PeopleSoft interaction hub for the landing page for the PeopleSoft, but since interaction hub is getting old, and we decide to go with the fluid user interface. So, and to have both HCM and FSCM to be on the same server, we decide to have HCM to be a gateway or the first homepage to navigate from, to both all the modules and the navigation to HCM side and FSCM side. And also that we need to create different homepages based on users' roles. So the left-hand side is the image of the PeopleSoft portal we had before we implemented the fluid user interface. So I know it's kind of small to see, but there are several tabs such as my page and my personal info, my benefits, my pay info, manager dashboard, and time and labor work center. There are several different tabs on the HCM side, and also there are other tabs for the finance side. They were all on the same this landing page. So instead of having this portal with a PeopleSoft Interaction Hub, we wanted to have this Fluid User Interface to have separate home pages. Instead of having tabs in the portal landing page, we created a separate home page and the Fluid User Interface. So as you can see on this employee self-service homepage, there are tiles coming from HCM and also tiles coming from FSCM. So for the timeline of the Fluid User Interface, it was kind of tricky too. I'm going to explain why. So it was going to start in March 2019. Then we started planning. Then, so it started, the planning phase started after I joined. So it was okay for HCM side. However, for FSCM side, we didn't have any functional resources in the city. The reason why was because there were two functional resources for FSCM, but they left the city. One of them left the city and the other one was transferred to a different department. So we had no functional resources on the FSCM side. So we started only on HCM side first. Then we kept going to design phase on the HCM side. And when we had the new functional resources, the functional lead and the functional analyst joined in the finance department in October last year, then we kind of restarted designing on the FSCM side of the homepage. Then we kept building and started testing. Then we had deployment around late February. So if you remember the timeline of ePerformance, for ePerformance, we went live in late January. Then Fluid User Interface, it went live in late February. So there are lots of time overlapping. Then we had post-production support after it went live. So what we had learned from doing the two projects about the same time, which had the big impact to each other. First of all, resource management. As I said, the second bullet point of resource management, I'm talking about the human resources, not the other resources, but I'm talking about primarily for human resources because we didn't have functional resources for FSCM side on the Fluid User Interface project. We couldn't have done anything for like several months. And also the first bullet item, resource constraint, the same functional resource was heavily involved with both projects. I'm pretty much talking about me because there was one time I was the only one doing the functional work for the HCM side other than the areas where the payroll leads manages and supports. So I manage and support pretty much all the modules in PeopleSoft HCM except for payroll, time and labor, and absence management, which are managed by payroll lead and supported and managed by payroll lead. So I was the only one who was doing all kinds of things. So yes, of course, it was an issue. And also timeline, as I said, because originally the ePerformance was going to go live way before Fluid User Interface was going live, but it didn't happen. So there was lots of months which are overlapping. Timelines were overlapping, and also documentation. for some reason, I didn't know until I joined the city. For some reason, the many of the previous projects done by different people didn't always have the very solid documentation available. And especially for ePerformance, originally when it was starting in October 2018, we did have one outside consultant, function consultant, working on it, but the documentations weren't really there. So there are several reasons. So I need to take over the function lead of the ePerformance side. So pretty much all the documentation need to be restarted and recreated, and also because some projects are managed by our own internal resources, because we have internal project management office, and other projects are sometimes managed by external consulting firm. We do have a trusted partner, which is called ERPA. They do our managed services, and they also support any technical kind of work whenever we need. But because sometimes our internal project manager manages the project, other times someone else, like a consultant from the different organization or our trusted partner manage the project. So it varies what kind of documentation created or what kind of deliverables will be created. And also the stakeholders, usually we need to get more involvement with the stakeholders from the many different departments, because both ePerformance and the fluid user interface have big impact of the end users. However, we only did the requirement gathering with the limited stakeholders. So when we were doing the training, or when we were doing the testing, many of the participants who had never seen the new system, ePerformance fluid user interface, started saying, hey, this is not what I thought, or this is not what we thought. So we should have, so that was one of the issues. And also that's another point was training. There were confusions caused because PeopleSoft has certain terminology, and the City of Raleigh has own terminology. And for example, we in the city, we call supervisors and the managers are different, right? But in PeopleSoft, it's always manager self-service. So some people get confused. Oh, I'm not the manager, I'm just a supervisor. Why it's called manager self-service kind of thing. And also, since we have many different departments and many different job families and job categories, so some people don't even have laptops or computers, and while other people do have computers and work with computer every day, right? So the employee skill level and the computer literacy are different. And also, some of the training materials we created for ePerformance needed to be recreated, because after ePerformance went live, only after a month, ePerformance went live, fluid user interface went live. So the look and feel for ePerformance is now totally different before and after fluid, right? And also it's related to stakeholders' involvement. After we went live, there are many change requests and enhancement requests came out, because the people saying, "Oh, this is not what we thought." So, excuse me. Based on those the issues identified as lessons learned, so there are the recommendations we have identified too. So for resource, we need to allocate enough resource before starting project. Yeah, it's really one of the basic things, but sometimes we need to find out how we can do it. In timeline, we have to always think how to manage multiple projects which have impact to each other, right? And also documentation, that we need to have a more standardized documentations and also the more standardized quality assurance process to make sure every project has great documentation and deliverable levels after it was wrapped up. Then also stakeholders involvement, we need to involve more stakeholders in the earlier phase of the project. And training, we need to create training materials to meet employees' skill level. And also we need to have a training manager involved from the early phase of the project. And there's another thing, because we used to have a training manager inside the city, then the person left, then we didn't have training manager for a while. Yeah. Then the last item is similar to stakeholders involvement. We need to have those people involved from the early phase of the project, so that they wouldn't have any big surprises when we went live with the product. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So do you have any questions? Yeah, I know I already passed 1 minute. So if you have any questions, my email address is here, and this is being recorded, and this presentation should be available after Reconnect has been wrapped up, right? So yeah, it's my first name dot last name and RaleighNC.com. Since I cannot see chat myself, but hold on. I see some questions because I joined from a different computer to see questions. Project question: did you have a dedicated change management lead with for the ePerformance project? We did have a change management lead who was also a training lead for the project, and but that person is an outside consultant. She did good job, but that's for e-performance side of the project. And for fluid user interface, since it was managed by the different group of people, it was led by ERPA, our trusted partner, the consulting company. So they did have some resources inside, but yeah, but they are totally different resources. But yes, we did have a change management resource for, especially for e-performance. And organization change management. Okay. So for that kind of change management, yes, we did work. We had a work group inside the HR, but because of the so many people retiring and leaving and new people getting hired, it was kind of chaotic. But yes, we did have the dedicated group of people in HR department to have all kind of training materials and communications, and also we have a communication department who has a dedicated resource for anything HR related change. So yes, sorry, I didn't see the second. And the next question: did you find the training right after go live was actually beneficial? Yes, it was beneficial for the performance side, because when we did go live with the system, we didn't really make a big announcement because we are having a concurrent training. We started with the trainers, then it went to the supervisor training. We had instructor-led trainings, many sessions. Yes. and it was beneficial. However, I don't think it's ideal for project perspective, right? Because we like to, generally speaking, we like to wrap a project and after we have gone live the system. Okay. So it looks like they are all the questions I had, and I think answered. But if you have any questions, as I said, please email me to this email address. Thank you so much for joining my session, and I hope to see you in other sessions. Thank you. Have a nice rest of the day and the week.